Hello, and welcome once again to the Dental Marketing Mastery Series. This podcast is brought to you by dentalwebcontent.com and New Patients Incorporated. I'm Howie Horrocks, the founder of New Patients Incorporated. Along with me once again is my friend and partner and the president of New Patients Incorporated, Mark Dilatush. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to our podcast. We're so happy to have you with us again. Aren't we, Mark?
We are, Howie. I spent yesterday evening at a country music concert.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful outside. It was in New Jersey in July. It was like 75. Humidity was like 30%.
Wow.
The sky was dark blue. Wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Who was the headliner?
Brett Young.
Okay.
You recognize some of his. I know you're not a big country music fan.
I like country music.
I know. Anybody who really knows me knows that that's all I listen to. So that was fun. We did that last night, and that was
awesome.
That was a fun way to spend an afternoon. There was some drunk people there, but that's to be expected.
Well, of course.
Yes.
All right. What we're doing today is part 3 of our series about staking your claim to the universe that you live and operate in for as long as you have a dental practice in the same neighborhood. So those are your peeps. How are you going to get them and find them and keep them, right?
Right. So, yeah, in part 1 and part 2, we kind of took you back to some of the basics, your core staples, how they've changed, or in a lot of cases, how they've all stayed the same. And then we walked you through the recession. In other words, if you had a practice and you were trying to stake your claim through the recession, what should you have done? And today we're going to take you out of the recession, because we're out of the recession, and basically bring it all up to the current events is what should I be doing now?
Right.
And in part 2, we discussed the core staples of family dentistry. We compared that to the the heyday of cosmetic dentistry. And, we explained some of the upsides and downsides. So now it's not enough just to say, okay, go ahead and invert it. Spend less time and energy and money on family and more time and money on niches. It's not enough just to say that. So what do we do as we get out of the recession? So let's just take this from a pure statistical standpoint. So we know for sure that dentistry lost $18 billion in its top line from its high point through the recession. That's a lot of money. This is, you may think of dentistry as a gigantic market, but it's really about $120 billion market. So you lose 18 billion of it, and that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt all the way down the food chain, right?
It's a significant chunk of change there.
Yes. So, So during the recession, and it's going to sound really self-serving, but it's not. During the recession, our clients grew in aggregate. So how did they beat the dental market, let's say, by 25% during the recession years? And we discussed last time, the main reason why is because we focused all their money on the core staples, family, family. Stay there during.
What about the family, Mark?
Exactly. Okay. So what did we do with client money coming out? Great question, which is the subject of today. So the first thing that comes up after or post-recession, after a drop of $18 billion, it's quite logical to assume a few people were ignoring their oral health. And it's also safe to assume what happens to people's mouth when they ignore them for, let's say, an extended period of time, 6 to 7 to 8 years. Maybe they were just conserving their money through the recession, and dentistry was one of the things they didn't spend any money on. Okay. So what happens to teeth? What happens to gums? What happens after neglect? Bad things happen.
bad things happen.
Exactly. Okay. So when bad things happen, typically, what kind of a patient do you get? You get an emergency patient. And are emergency patients motivated?
You bet.
You betcha. Okay. So pulling out of a recession, what did we do with some of our client money? Those who were willing, those who were equipped, those who were flexible enough in their scheduling to do so. We devoted quite a bit of room, quite a bit of time, quite a bit of whatever, quite a bit of money to promoting them as an emergency a choice if you're having a dental emergency in their market. Why wouldn't you? You have a greater number of people who are needing emergencies, and you probably have a shrinking number of dentists who are promoting it. So that's an opportunity for a marketing company. That's the way we look at opportunities, okay? The whole idea with a good marketing firm is to minimize your risk, okay? So when you have more consumers and fewer competition, that normally, not always, but normally lowers risk, okay? So emergencies is one way to pull out actually a pretty fast, I'm not going to say easy, but I'm going to say pretty fast way to get relatively immediate results. Okay, so beyond recession, where are we going with our client money? Well, most of them, not all of them, but most of them want to promote at least a niche. Let me define niche. A niche is a singular dental service that the dentist likes or wants to like doing and wants to do more of. And that could be, it could be almost anything. It could be sedation, could be
implants, sleep
apnea,
senior stuff, dentures.
Could be almost anything, really, right? Yeah. Okay, so now here's where we come in. We come in and we say, all right, don't get all excited, client. Okay, we're still going to allocate, let's say, 80% of your budget to the family thing, because you're still going to get those niche cases from the family market. We know that.
That's basically where they come from.
Exactly. Okay. But the doctor wants to do more of their X, whatever they like, whatever dental service they're really focused in on, they want to do more of those. So they want us to reach out to the market specifically to find more of those types of patients. So what do we normally do when we do that? Well, first, we allocate the budget properly. I know everybody's ever heard us speak or read what we've written, or even our own staff is tired of us saying, okay, budget it accordingly. Okay, budget it properly.
There they go again, talking about budgets.
Talking about budgets, right. I hate it when Mark says budget. Well, that's the way you control your costs. That's the main way you control your risk, right? I'm sorry if you don't like the word budget, but that's just the way it has to be. Okay. All right. So you allocate your budget. Let's say it's 80-20, 70-30. And you slowly begin to diversify the message out into the public in a singular fashion. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be singular. I think probably one of the most popular ones that we're doing now are basically it's dentistry for seniors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where, because a lot of that dentists will call us and say, Mark, I want to promote my practice for more implants. And we say, all right, that's awesome. But what are the benefits of implants really? Okay, they're multifaceted. There's all kinds of benefits for implants. And when you line them all up on a scorecard, there's like 6 or 7 reasons why dental implants could really help someone in need. And by the time you're done writing all the reasons why they're beneficial, heck, you could fill up 2 or 3 web pages worth of information. Or
I was just going to say, you got a website right there, or a mailer, or a radio spot, 5 radio spots.
Right, exactly, right? So, I mean, you have, implants, of course, but you have implant-supported dentures. You have, a senior mailer or a senior promotion in an ad, maybe to seniors in a retirement community. My goodness, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. So you might want to look, because we're out of the recession. We're 2.5, 3 years now into the recovery. So, and many of you, and we know this is true, many of you right now are actually what we call too busy. So this, in other words, if I called your office right now, I can't get an appointment in your office if I want, let's say, a Tuesday morning early or a Thursday evening late.
Yeah,
that's a
problem. Yeah.
I can't get an appointment I want as a new patient, so I'll just move on.
Let's explore that further in just a few minutes. We're going to take a short break here, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Hello, everybody. This is Howie Horrocks, and along with me is Mark Dilatush, the president of New Patients Incorporated. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, Howie. How are you? This is the part of the podcast where we get to brag about our company.
Yay.
So sometimes it gets lost in all these podcasts what New Patients Incorporated actually does. We have, I don't know how many podcasts, 75, 80, one a week for well over a year. And all of you listen to these a half hour at a time, and you might lose sight of what we do. So here's the short answer. We do everything we're talking about in these podcasts on behalf of our clients. Okay. The podcasts are there for our clients, of course, just so they understand what the heck we're doing, but also for the doctors who are do-it-yourselfers. If you're not a do-it-yourselfer and you want someone to do this for you, newpatientsinc.com. There's an icon in the dead center at the top of our homepage where you can get a complimentary marketing plan. A series of questions will need to be completed. And once you complete that, we will analyze your market area, develop a marketing plan, and get on the phone with you, discuss all the sections of the marketing plan, just to make sure you understand a couple of things: what you're up against, what your expectations should be, and what Mark and Howie would do if we owned your dental practice.
Okay, we're back, and we were just talking about, now that we're out of the recession, a problem that has cropped up that we've noticed is it's tough for a new patient to get in.
Right, and we're dovetailing that with what to do with your marketing budget after the recession, and we were talking about, allocating 20, maybe 30% of your budget toward a niche. What'll happen is you'll spend a little less money on the family side, a little more money on the niche, and that'll slow down the volume coming in. And this is particularly applicable to all the offices out there who are listening to this, who are like booked out. When we have, I don't know, I haven't run in, I guess I maybe run into a couple of clients who aren't booked out, but there's a lot of dentists out there in dentistry land, at least in our corral of dentists who have full books. So slowing down the family promotion and focusing in on the niche promotion, it's probably a pretty good time to do that if you're not going to expand capacity. If the practice is, no, Mark, this is my one location. This is the number of operatories I want. These are the office hours I want. My team loves me. Everybody loves everything. I just want more implant patients. If that's your scenario and you're booked out 6, 7, 8 days and it's really difficult to get in, then you have 2 steps. Step 1, we got to fix the capacity issue. We have to figure out some way to get openings for new patients. And step number 2 is start your niche advertising. Okay. And then never, ever, ever give up on your family advertising ever. Okay. But you can start to put a little money into your niche advertising. Absolutely. There's no reason why you wouldn't. I would start with emergencies, but if you're not set up for emergencies, then the senior side of things would be probably my next choice, although I'd have to go look into the spreadsheets for the stats on it. But my gut feeling is that's where I'd go with that piece. Now, coming out of the recession, there's a couple of other things that are going on that I do need to make you aware of, that may or may not be a part of staking your claim. We all know that the DSOs have accumulated their seed money, they're buying practices, and they're expanding their footprint in the U.S. We also know, and again, this is not, sometimes when we say stuff like this, people take it the wrong way. We're not for or against any business model in dentistry.
No, absolutely not.
We just know the impact of the marketing that they do, or the non-impact of the marketing that they do. Okay, so we know that there's an influx of DSO practice ownership, and with DSOs comes economies of scale, and some of that scale is marketing. Now they have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars to promote practices throughout their network. And in most cases, 95% of the cases, you won't outspend them. The listeners to this podcast will not outspend them.
No, that battle's over. You lost.
Yeah, you lost, right. Yeah. So when faced with something like that, you look at who they're marketing to and who would likely respond to their marketing. And if you really look at their marketing, without exception, it is designed purposely to be very attractive to the bottom 51.5% of the dental market in the U.S., in that they always use one or multiple starbursts with deals in them in order to get the phone to ring. This is also true with all of their online advertising. You don't have to go very far to see what I'm talking about. Just gather them in your home and look at them at the end of a month, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
It presents to the consumer that the top priority reason you should choose this is that we give you a better deal. Right.
There's nothing else.
That's fine. That's a perfectly valid market segment. Go ahead, but just know that that's what's going on.
Right. So as you stake your claim, as you're pulling out of this recession, one way to stake your claim is, and some of this is intellectual, some of it's like emotional. Like, you have to believe that there's a 48.2% of the marketplace that those people are alienating. You have to believe in your heart that there 48.2% of the moms in the U.S. will look at that type of a promotion from a healthcare provider and be turned off by it. Because it's true. Okay? We've got hundreds of people who will tell you it's true. Okay?
Yeah.
So you, as the dentist pulling out of this recession, staking your claim, you need to claim that 48.2. The competition, the DSO, is ignoring it. Actually, they're actually fueling your part of that market.
Yeah,
they're alienating the targets.
You could look at it like, it's an assistance. They're kind of backhandedly helping you.
Yes, there you go. Okay.
If you're going for the top end of the market, well, the price incentives will drive those people to you.
Here's another, and we'll end with this: staking your claim. This will be part 3. This will be for this series. It's not the last podcast we're ever going to do. It'll just be the last one of this series. There's actually 2 more. There's 2 more other marketing possibilities that may exist in your marketplace that will really help you stake your claim as you pull out of this recession. During the recession, some practices really, really, really hit hard times. Those practices could be for sale in your market. Normally, the ones who hit the hardest times are the DSOs don't want them, but it may be an acquisition target for you. If you're in a really ultra competitive marketplace and there's an older practice for sale with reasonable value and within the patient charts, it might be something viable that you look at and consider. So that's one of them. Another overlooked possibility to adding production to your top line and bottom line. There's another dynamic that's happening in dentistry right now, and it's not going to stop. It's going to continue. It's going to accelerate. Okay, and that is, and again, before I go any further, the specialists listening to this podcast, please understand that we love you and we want you to do great in life. And, we believe patients are best treated in your specialist hands. And please don't read anything into what I'm about to say. Okay. The business dynamics in dentistry is shifting. More and more and more and more specialists are coming to us, asking us to promote their services direct to the consumer. Fewer and fewer dentists or general dentists are referring. More and more general dentists are doing some of these procedures themselves. Or, and here's your opportunity or potential opportunity, they're bringing the specialists in 1 day a week, maybe 1 day a month or 2 days a month or 3 days a month. They're bringing the specialist into their general practice to handle the specialty care needed by that specialist specifically for their patients.
Might be ortho, might be pedo,
sure,
oral surgery, whatever.
Well, here's we're writing the update to Unlimited New Patients Volume 3, and it's also valuable to be able to kind of predict, right, what may happen. Like, I think periodontists are going to be just fine. Because if you lined up 100 dentists, 97 of them don't want to work with kids. And that's okay. So pedo is probably always going to have a spot, and they'll always have, they're always going to have that referral, and the referrals will come with a big smile.
Right.
Endodontists, periodontists, prosthodontists, orthodontists. Ortho just raised $4 million for TV ads and ran them to try and convince dental consumers that it was better to get your teeth straightened by an orthodontist. If that doesn't tell you, if that's not the writing on the wall, okay, then you just don't want to see it. All right. So why is this an opportunity for you? Well, if you're a GP, you're not normally open on Friday, and maybe don't place your own implants. Maybe you might want to have a periodontist come into your office once a week. Or maybe you have a nice young population, and you know what? I'm sending out 9 referrals for ortho cases a month. You might want to have your office open on a Saturday morning and have an orthodontist come in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an idea. Exactly. Right. I think pedo and oral surgery more for political reasons, but I think pedo and oral surgery will survive as their own edges. I think the rest of the ontists are going to be coming into larger general practices with available time, room, and perhaps technology to create practices that are, multi-specialty larger general dental offices. Do not be surprised if you see more general dentists or more specialists who are going direct to consumer.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a surprise to any of you.
No, that's coming more and more. We see it right now. Well, ladies and gents, thank you again for listening to us, and we hope you tune in next time. Until then, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. You can find more podcasts on our YouTube channel, on Stitcher, and iTunes. Also on our websites, dentalwebcontent.com and newpatientsinc.com.